Good afternoon, everybody. How's things? Sorry, I'm a minute late. We had a little bit of an issue with Dobby. He's at home today helping the painter, but the painter really doesn't want any help. So, yeah, I've just been downstairs and told him to put his wand away. So, okay, that's Dobby, not the painter. Okay, so tile 320. Goodness me, here we go. Crazy, crazy. What do I have with me today then? Okay, I've got a blush tile, but I've inked it and I've added a few little bubbles on there. Doesn't have to be bubbles, it's just something that gives the background a little bit of interest there. So that's the starting point. You don't have to do that. It's entirely up to you. Whatever you want to use, it's fine. And today we're going to sort of use, we're going to start with a circle. And that does mean if you've got a circle frame handy, whether it's the Essentials, whether it's one of the other sets, I've actually got my Crafty Planner stencil. Woohoo! Because of course we've got circles on there. So I'm going to use that to help me out. But of course you don't need to. You can sketch this out. It's absolutely fine. And we are going to be sketching some bubbles. But for the main one, I thought it'd be nice to do that. So, pen, pencil, tortillon. There we go. And so I've got something to draw around circle-wise. I'm actually going to use this one here, which, if you were to ask me what it measures, not quite sure. But I've got inches here. There we go. It's there you go. Look, it's a 2-inch. So that's what, 5 centimeters. But it doesn't matter. All right. Are we ready? So I'm going to start then. I'm just going to put that circle in. Now I'm not going to go in the middle. I'm going to go slightly to one edge. I say edge, no. So if I imagine there's my middle, see there's the middle, there's the dot for the middle. I'm going to move it up and along a bit because I want to put some extra bits and pieces down here. So let's put that in. There it is. And I also want to just mark that bit in the middle. Okay. So now if you've got to sketch it, please don't panic. It's absolutely fine. You're not going to see all of it anyway. So don't worry too much about it. Okay, so I'm just going to change them there. And whilst I've got pencil in hand, I'm going to put in a line here, not all the way up. And a line there. Again, look, not all the way up. I'm going to turn it. And I'm going to put one here. Looks nice with that little bit in the background, doesn't it? Right there. Okay, so I've sort of got that kind of shape. And just put one in the middle as well. Not as sort of far up there. Okay. And again, one there, look. One there. And then we're going to come back and do something with that in a short while. The main thing is what we're going to do around the outer edge. Okay, I think actually I'm going to bring that line up and extend it out a bit there. And the same at the bottom. And that one. Oh, soon I need to get back on with it. I've been a very, very busy person tangling. I don't think I've stopped at all this week yet. Do I ever stop, to be fair? Probably not. Okay, so I left a little bit extra space down here because what I want to do, and again, you could bring in stencils to do this, but I'm not so worried about it. I'm going to bring in some bubbles because, of course, they're only guidelines. So it's not seriously something that they've got to be exactly perfect. It's not a problem. Okay, there we are. Oh, good morning, Kathy. It feels weird saying good morning when it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but I know it's not 2 o'clock in the afternoon everywhere, is it? So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever works for you. All right. See, so I'm adding quite a few of these bubbles around. I want to have a bit of array. Okay, there we are. And maybe sort of one, sort of in the background there going behind maybe. I don't know, see how I feel about that. Maybe it's going behind that. Okay. Charlotte, is it a new stencil? This is actually I used from the Creative Set Ones. It's the bubble stencil. It happens to be on my desk, if I'm honest, because I'm taking it to Hobby Maker with me on Tuesday. So just in case you want to have a quick look at it, there you go. It's that one. Look, Creative Stencil Set 1, and it's this bubble one. which looks a bit like, you can see there you go, looks a bit like that. So I've just picked bits of it. You see I use it quite a bit. But yeah, it's because it's on my desk and I wanted a little bit of something in the background. But you can use whatever you like. Whatever you like. Okay. So I'm going to come back in with my pen now. Let's have a look at this. And I'm going to start by having a look at these bubbles that I've got going on there. There you go. All right, start this one. So here we go. I'm going to start with a sort of middle. I'm not going to do a bubble. I'm going to do more of a four-sided shape. See, it's got curves. Yeah, it's got curves. Haven't we all? Okay. And from the line, I'm going to bring it out and at an angle. So turn it round at an angle and around, angle and around again, a bit of an angle. Okay, so let's turn it. It doesn't matter. This is sort of my right way. It doesn't matter though. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring this round and bring it down. So you see, just slightly less there. And same with this one. And again, slightly less. And then same again, slightly less. And again. You see, each time it's just slightly less than that one. And I'm going to bring out a little loop. Sort of in the middle there. And the middle there. And then we can have some little dots coming off each of those. Let's put some dots in the middle there as well. Just in one corner, see? Okay, let's have a little look at that. Alright. So if I turn it round and let's do another this time. You see, I've turned my tile slightly so that that shape isn't exactly in the same, or facing the same direction as that one. I think it works that way because then you get a sense of movement. So here we go, back to the edges of each one and along there. Same with that one. So I've followed my shape round. Oh, maybe so, Lynn. Maybe is there a grid in sight today? Maybe not. But we do like grids. They are user friendly. There you go. So that's going to sort of go behind that one there. Okay. And then as before, let's put this little loop in. A little loop. And they just sort of flow around your shape there. It just sort of gives you that sense of movement. And then, of course, a couple of little dots coming off there. And see, I've put dots in that corner there. I'm going to do the same in that one. Just sort of keeping it similar. There you are. So this one, if you sort of think, oh, I don't really know where I'm going with this, I really need the bubble, you can now draw over this in pencil so you get the full bubble. And then you can put your little shape in and draw those. And then you can see very clearly where you need to put those lines. There we go. You see? Okay. Oh, always the case, isn't it? When we start our live at home. There we are. So then again, let's put some little loops in there. That's Dobby annoying Benji. Do you know, you come home and you think, I'm going to work from home today, it's going to be nice and calm and I'm going to get loads done, and bringing Dobby home is not the right thing to do. Although he wants to help. Oh, you're welcome, Yvonne. I try my best. The idea is I want you to be successful. I want you to be able to draw what I've drawn. So anything I can do to help, it's my pleasure. All right. Wait till we see what Tuesday on Hobby Maker brings. Honestly, I've got some fantastic pieces of art. And I'm hoping that you're going to be able to reproduce them. That's the idea. Got instructions and everything. So his cat was a little bit big, but we are looking at how we can actually perhaps modify it so it will fit him. Sue very kindly brought Dobby some shoes, which he loves, but I've told him he can't wear them while he's painting. And yeah, some a little cap as well. But, yeah. There we go. See, we've got these lovely little sort of flower shapes coming around there. Got another one I'm going to put in here. And again, moving it around. Oh, Naya, I hope you feel better soon. So that sense of humour hasn't gone with it. Yeah. Just, just stop in bed. I'm going to have a lie-in the morning, actually. Or that's my intention. Lots to do. Of course, I don't know if you were watching Sewing Street a few weeks ago when Scott was on doing some selling, and he got a wooden box, a wooden sewing kit, like a box, and he said, oh, you could Sanntangle on this, and I actually rose to the challenge and said, yeah, of course you can. So I brought one, and I've been tangling on it this week. So hopefully you get to see it next week. It's looking good so far. Took some hours though. I must admit, it took some hours to do. Let's just put that bubble in there. Okay. So that's, I'm going to leave that one. I'm not going to put that one in. But it's my choice. I can leave it if I want. It's my tile. And what I'm going to do is, in pencil, I'm going to bring a little line in. Like so. Okay. And then back to pen. And either side, I'm going to come up and just in. Up and in. Up and in. See? Up and in. Let's go to a point. And then on this side, same sort of thing. Now, you know, you might want to go in, you might want to go out. Your choice. We're going to create this lovely sort of little shape and just sort of down that line. Let's put some little dots and dashes. Let's have a look at that. You see? There we are. So let's do another one. I'm going to come up this way. So it doesn't matter which side you start from. Up and in. See? Up and in. Up and in. Up and in. There we go. And then dots and dashes down the edge. So we need a few more of those, don't we? Sort of creeping in there. Let's have one going this way. Now, you'd think, well, is it easier to put the lines in first so I know where I'm going? And honestly, I would put my lines and do one at a time because you're not quite sure. See, I want one coming sort of up, and so it's coming out here, you see. So I couldn't have put that line in and followed it until I'd drawn all these. So it's important that you've got to really, I think at this point, do them one at a time. At least then you'll see where they're going. So let's have one coming out here. Not too long, this one. And every tile's going to be different. So just because I'm putting quite a few in here, you might think, no, it's not for me. I'm going to put just a couple in. That's where it's working. Okay. So we need to add a few of these around in other places. So again, let's bring one or two up here. So see, I'm going to perhaps put one there, but one definitely there, just to get me going. Okay. And in we go. You see, so work it round. Work it round. They're quite nice to draw, actually, these. Then you can go quite fat, and you can go quite thin with it. Let's put another one, see there. So again, I've got to imagine, but if you want to, you can use a pencil and you can draw the whole line in. Dots and dashes. Okay. So here, what do you do there? We'll work about that later. Let's get some more in here. So let's bring it down. So perhaps a couple there. And the same as before, look. That one in. quite narrow, aren't they, for leaves? But it's always nice to have something a little bit different. So that works your way round. See? And being that I've put that line in there, let's put that one in. Okay, now you can't have 2 there and 2 there, can you? That just doesn't work. So let's have a few more in. And see, I'm going to bring one up there maybe. But this is a great way of, you know, you actually doing a bit of practice and planning ahead what you're going to be doing with different things. And of course, is it our live tile swap, is it on Monday? Is it the 3rd February? 3rd Monday in February? I think so. If it is, it's our tile swap, isn't it, on Monday? So, all go next week, isn't it? There we are. Gosh, tile swap again already. I hope those of you that didn't do it, thank you, Sue, didn't do it last time are going to do it this time. That would be great if you would. We had quite a few tiles, which is lovely. Be nice to have more wood. Come on, do it. Okay, let's have the one there. Little dots and dashes. Again, let's just do, I'm just going to do a little one there. Oh, Sue, I'm sorry about that. I know I've been expecting some post from somebody who's sent me some pieces of work. Luckily, they've only sent me photocopies, but it's not arrived. I don't know. Post usually is pretty good, but they do lose things. Oh, so what I'd like to think of is they all go away, like you say, to Tangle in heaven, but they land on somebody's doorstep who really needs them. And maybe somebody thinks, oh, it's Happy Post, and doesn't realise it's not got their name on. And it maybe opens and they're so thrilled with what they've got, maybe. That's how I like to see it. It's, you know, one of the ways of doing it, isn't it? Okay, so what I want to do now, I'm going to bring in this shape now. And just going to sort of ever so steady draw in that circle. Again, if it doesn't quite go exactly right, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. So you've got a bit there. Yes, you've got a bit of a bump there. It doesn't matter. Joanne, I haven't changed my email now. Have you sent me something? I've not responded. I do apologise. It's sandra@sanntangle.co.uk, my email address. And that's the one I read. The older one, I don't tend to go on very often. It's still there, but it doesn't sort of come up as a priority on my inbox. So if I've missed an email, I apologise. Sometimes it's easy to be done, as you can understand. I don't do it on purpose. All right. So we've got sort of little row of bubbles around there now. So just sort of, if you feel a little bit uneasy about that shape, and again, I've got a little bump there, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's my bump. It's fine. Okay, so let's have a look in the middle here. I think first thing I'm going to do is put a letter here. I'm going to come in with an N there. Just keep it dead simple, look. Little N. Right, let's go in a bit. And then I'm going to just put a little line across the top there and there. Just ever so slightly curve it in. Okay. And then if you can see it, I should have an E here. So I'm going to see the bottom bit. Maybe a bit there. And again, if I just put that little line there, and just ease it out a bit. Now at the bottom here, I think it's probably best, because that's the bottom of my little circle, is to draw that S in, so I know exactly what bits I need to put in, which is just going to be that bit. And then this one. W in there. And again, look, I'm just going to put those little lines on the top and just curve them in slightly. It's got a bit of style to it. Okay, so look at that, look at that. All right, so this one here, let's put in a little bubble here, just a little one. And I'm going to fill that line in, but create like a little pointer on the top there. Okay, and then the bottom here, little line, little pointer. Let's put that line in. So coming this way, I'm still going to have a little bubble in there. Then I'm going to do a smaller bubble and join that. Go a little bit higher up there. And then same here. Little bubbles. Oh, thank you, Sue. I'm glad you like it. I do try and do different ones each time. It's I don't always like to do the same thing, but I think there's a lot of you out there. Some of you like grids, some of you like organic, so I try and mix it up so you will get a bit of a taste of what you like. Okay, so that's where we are so far. You see we've got this line extending here. I'm going to come and put a little sort of diamond shape at the top there. And then depending on if you can still see it at the bottom or not, as the case may be, I'm going to put one there too. Just adding it in there. And then this time I've got the line here. Oh, Susan, yeah, this would look nice on parchment, wouldn't it? I'm going to do a smaller V there, or diamond rather. And again, just sort of bringing this line out. Now, you see here, am I going to get it in? Yes. Got that one in, look. And there you are. So far, so good. Okay. Needs a bit more around here, though. We've got a bit more flourishy kind of things to do, so let's have a look at this. So where I've got this line, and again, if you feel that you want to, you can put a little line in to help you out. I'm going to put just a little line there. Let's just fill that in. Okay, maybe a little bit more there. There we go. Sometimes it's nice actually, compass wise, you know, if you're never quite sure about where you're going, you think, oh, I need a little bit of focus. It's great to come in and do this, but you know, think, well, you know, there's 4 sides of the compass, it can go any way. It doesn't always have to point north. There you go, I've put a little shape in there, see, and just added some lines. You see? Okay, let's go a little bit bigger there. If it won't let me. There you go. So I'm going to do this similar here, but as you can see, I've not really got that line to follow anymore. But I can see where I'm at with it. And I can actually come in with pencil and draw that section. Okay, and I'm not going to see that bit there. Not really. Maybe just put that bit in, look. And bring that in. And again, starting from that line, lines this way, lines that way. Alright. Now here I'm not going to see it at all, and neither am I there, so we've got those bits going on. But let's look at the top here. I'm going to put little loops, one that way and one that way. Some little lines in. And then this one. One that way, one that way. Some little lines in. This one. So you're going to still see, you're going to see it here, look, because it's on the bottom of those little shapes there. This one, not so much. Am I going to see anything? Maybe that tiny little bit. Was it worth drawing? Of course it was. Okay, so there's one. Now I'm going to have a look on the spaces in between here. What I want to do, it's sort of an aura because I'm following those lines, but then I'm going to finish it with a little curve. So just take your time with this, work your way around, and each one is going to have that little aura on it. Okay, turn it a little bit more, I think. There you go. Follow it round and create that curve. You see, just taking your time with it and just adding those extra little bits of dimension and layers. It embellishes a little bit, doesn't it? This would look nice with the ships that pass, wouldn't it? So this could perhaps be a larger one in the background and a ship in it, or with the bottle and things like that. You could have a bottle coming out, all sorts. So, okay, I'm going to, if I can find a rubber on my desk. One second, there it is. I'm just going to remove those pencil lines now from in those flowers and things. Don't really need them anymore. And on my lines, and just make sure, of course, that your ink's dry before you do it. Alright, so not too bad. So far so good. Got this lovely shape going on. So, a bit of rubber there as well. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so I'm just going to come back to this edge here. I just move in a little bit because it does need a little bit more. So we're going to use this as a bit of a hand, a guide here, and I'm going to come round and put a curl in. You see? And then I can do the same on this side. Now when I say the same, they're not going to be the same. So don't try and make them the same, it's fine. Let's do a smaller one. And a smaller one. You see it's gone opposite ends. Now this time I'm going to do that way again. But each time, you see it's getting smaller and smaller. There we go. You see, it's really changed the way that that looks there. So, can we see that on anything else? Let's have a look. Now, if I imagine, again with my pencil, look at the distance there to there. So there, isn't it? It's about there. So maybe a really small one there, look. So it just sort of sits behind the background. And then here, we're going to see anything. Now you see that? Don't worry about that. We're going to fill that with bubbles. But again, we're not really going to see much. But here, see this one would have gone in there. And then there. And then that's probably about it. So again, adding just those tiny little bits in. Just so you can see them there makes the difference. And then of course, get rid of that. That's why we took the pencil, so you can see a bit more about what you're doing. Okay, I'm going to just have a little dot there. Like that. Yeah. So, as I said, I've got these little gaps. So let's come on in and put some little bubbles in there. Just add a few in. And again, they all start real close together, but then they can move out and they start to sort of work their way around. Let's fill any little gaps in. And just to sort of build that idea, let's bring a few there too. See, just sort of around the bottom there. And same sort of thing up at this top end. Just sort of add a few in. There we go. Okay. Maybe a few around here too. There we go. Okay. All right. So let's have a look. I think actually a bit of pencil and maybe a bit of pastel today. That's going to come in, I think. So let's pencil, regular pencil, and I'm going to work on the inside section here. Let's just go a little bit bigger. And what I want to do is work around the face. So I'm not going to press on, but I'm going to put quite a bit in. I'm going to come down there as well and work my way around. There you go. I'm even going to sort of go around those flowers there. And let's put those bits in. Okay. And same sort of thing around this centerpiece. Just work them in. Okay. And let's just do a little bit around there as well. Okay. Oh, Kathy, you can do this. We started with a circle, and it was a circle because I'd used a stencil, but you can sketch it. And a few bubbles. Let's just ease this off now. There you go. Alright, I'm not worried about anything else at the minute. I'm just going to soften all this up. There you go. Okay. This is the best bit. This is where it starts to, I'm going to give it a little bit of dimension. But I'm just sort of swirling it and fading it to nothing. There you go. Just taking my time. Round I go. I'm not trying to fill the whole thing in. As you can see, I've left sections where you've still got the tile showing through there. And then ever so gently, round we go. Round we go. And again, I'm not trying to fill everything. Just going to soften that a little bit. There you go. You see? Just put a little bit in the middle there, look. I've got enough graphite on there, I can do it. Okay, nice. I think it does need a little bit more of a darkness, so I'm going to come back in on this top section here and add some more pencil in on those areas. And let's fill that bit in. Okay, so this time I'm not trying to get it to travel as much, but I'm just taking that hard edge away. See? Just gives it a bit more darkness, doesn't it? Let's have a look. There we go. Look at the difference that's made, just doing that little bit there. So let's do it here as well, because this is the edge of the clock as well as the face. It's not a clock, it's a compass, Sandra. You know what I mean. Okay. So let's put a little bit round here too. I'm going to come just underneath these flowers here, like so. Okay, not particularly neat. And then just sort of to one edge of these little leaf shapes. And again, just sort of on this underside of those ones. I'm not going to do that because it's sticking up. So. And again, ever so gentle now because I don't want this to spread too far. Just going to come round and soften those edges. See? Just doing those little underneath bits. Just gives it a little bit of shadow there. A little bit there too. There we go. And of course a bit on the top of there. Okay. So just last little bit then. I'm going to get my pastel pencils and let's add a bit of colour to these flowers. So you don't have to use colour, you can still stick with the monochrome if you want to. Entirely up to you. I'm going to go with blues today, being that I've got a bit of blue on my tile. So here we go. Vicky, yes I am. Is the answer to that. Yes I am. They're on their way. I'm hoping that they're going to be here for the birthday show for Hobby Maker. If not, coloured pencils will be just after that. They're on their way. So excited. They're lovely. Oh, I'm hoping they are. I've seen photos and of course I've got samples, but until you actually have them in your hand and you see them and you use them for real, you never know, do you? You never know. Alright, I'm using this dark blue around the edge of these flowers, and just sort of not really worried about colouring in or anything like that. Just apply it. If you're going to use a regular pencil, you know, that we've just used the shading for, then you do the same thing. If you're going to use coloured pencils, that's a different thing entirely. Vicky, their birthday show is the 2nd of March. So if they're here for then, that's where they'll be. They'll be on that show. But if not, it'll be later. But certainly by the end of March, I'll have them. So sorry, I know I've made you all wait. Okay, this is a lighter blue, and I'm just putting it in the middle. See, just sort of around those little loop shapes there. Okay. And I'm going to bring in my white pastel pencil, not my chalk one. This is the same. This is the pastel pencil. I'm just going to add a little bit, just sort of in the middle. It's going to blend in, so I'm just sort of giving it a little bit of a starting point, really. See? Just giving it again. Now, of course, if you're using just your pencil, you don't need to do that because you're going to blend out anyway. Okay then, a bit of blending. Just wonder if I've got a cleaner tortillon. See, if I was at the office and I said that, lo and behold, one would appear. We know that, but I haven't. Because I'm not at the office. So look, I can just sort of get rid of the most of it and just rub out a little bit. There we go. Alright, that'll do the job nicely for what we're doing. Okay, so if I start with the lighter one, and just ever so gently push it up and into that white pastel. Again, if you're using a regular pencil, you can still do this. Coloured pencils, not so much. Looks like you're into blending them. So you see, just sort of looking it up. You can see where those bits of white are there. It's just going to almost form a barrier, and it's going to blend the two. It's going to help the two to blend together. You see, but I'm doing all the light first because the dark obviously will take over it a little bit. Okay, you see. So let's bring this darker blue in very gently. I'm not trying to cover the whole thing. Look, just softening it up. It's going into that white. See. There we are. Sort of gently does it, and it goes. Move on to the next. You see, just you don't really have to do much with it. The flowers are quite small, so I think actually I'm going to bring my pen in and do a little bit more when I've done this. But let's get this colour down first. See, just working it round. A little bit at a time. There you go. And there. You see, that white just sort of helps a little bit, doesn't it? It's almost like a little bit of control. It's stopping this blue going too far, and it's going to leave me that little bit of a highlight in the middle that we always look for. There it is. I'm glad I didn't do that other flower now in the background. I quite like that. Let's have a look at this. Oh, joy, sneak peeks. Goodness me. Now, do you want a sneak peek for Sewing Street, or do you want a sneak peek for Hobby Maker? Now, there's one. Let's put a bit of blue around here. Just on one side, see? And oh, there it is. Just soften that out a little bit. Both. Oh, you are cheeky. It's going to bring a bit of orange in. It's just a little hint on those. And again, normally I'd use a different colour tortillon. I've got 3 colour tortillons here. They're all graphite. There we go. Let's sort of touch them up. And let's Let's have a look. Let's just move out a bit. There you go. A little bit of green. I'm going to bring in that brighter green. I'm just going to ever so gently just add a touch into those little leafy shapes. Look at this. So I'm not particularly colouring it in. I'm just adding a little bit of graphite there. More graphite pastel. There you go. Just giving it a little hint, and then let's bring that tortillon back in. Preferably the one I've just used, not another graphite one. I'm just gonna see, just sort of swizzle over it and bring it in. There we go. Okay, like that. So I'm just gonna bring my pen back in. I think what I want to do, I don't want to do anything else with that, but I want to bring in a couple of our little flourishes. So here we go. Let's go a bit bigger. There you go. Now you could do the normal zinger, or you could do the zigzag zinger. Now, decisions to make there. There you go. Zigzag. Getting smaller. Let's have a look at that. And there, just a couple down here. So just getting smaller. Let's put one in here. That just little extra flourish makes the difference, I think. Just gives it a little bit of extra interest. There we go. And last little bit, I'm just going to bring in my little bit of black pastel there. There we go. Isn't it when you say that you're doing a live at home and you get dogs barking and suddenly you get people delivering post? There we are. There we go. A little bit of black in. Okay. I think maybe actually just a touch of black. Just in, you know those bubbles that are quite big? Just a touch in there. Just the odd few. And again, just with the tortillon, I'm just going to sort of touch them. You see? I can just add a bit in some of them as well. There we go. And that, I reckon, apart from his signature, let's have a look. We'll see what we think. It's done. Look at that. How lovely is that? Let's just bring in a little bit of more a line there, and so just underneath there's flowers there. I'm not trying to touch the pastel in any way here. Just going to add a little bit of extra weight to the bottom there. Just a tad. There you go. See? Bringing it in there. And that, I think, is just, it's just enough, isn't it? So let's put a signature on it and call it job done. How lovely is that? Yeah, I'm really really pleased with that. It's lovely, isn't it? Yeah. So that, when you think you can do something on a tile that little, let's can I zoom out a little bit more? And I do have a couple of bits and pieces. I've got a couple of new books. Goodness me, I've been busy, haven't I? So now when I say a couple of new books, let's have a look at this. Is the Hobby Maker one. This is going on. Oh, look at this in the afternoon. Now it's if we have a look at it, just a quick one. Let's just have a quick squeeze in here. Oh, it's a different shape. What's going on there then? Oh, so oh, do we have these right? How many sides does that have? How many sides? Oh, it's a little bit different, isn't it? So you might find that oh, look at that one. That these frames don't exist at the minute. Oh, let me show you this one. What frame did we use to create that? Goodness me. But that's all going to come on Hobby Maker on Tuesday afternoon, so I'm not going to show you any more of that because I want to leave it as a surprise. And then something a little bit different for Sewing Street, especially as it's their birthday, is we've got this one. And you might notice if you look a bit closer there, you've got sewing in there. So if this is something you think, do you know what, I wanted to try and I'm not quite sure, I've actually picked some of our tiles that we quite like the idea of. Oh, look at this sheep. Shall I show you the sheep? Look at the sheep there. It's the photograph. Let's see if I can find the actual sheep. What I've done a real simple sort of ideas for you. That if you've never done it before, you can copy. Look, he's there, look, on fabric. There's our tile on fabric. Yes, Viv, it's all done by hand. So, yeah, all a bit of fun. So there you go. See, look at that one. All stitched. And of course, there's our leaves. Look at our leaves. And let's have a look. Oh, you'll like this one. Look, there's our little angel. So if it's something you wanted to try and you've never quite got the hang of, or you never thought you could do it, look, instructions for how to do it. There. So, okay, our Fiona pencil-wise, gosh. Today I've used pastel pencils and I'm going to have a few of those on the show on Tuesday afternoon. Not many, just a few, and then that's it. They've all gone. Regular pencils, I use wax-based, and whatever sort of suits, whatever your budget is, whatever you've got that you can use. The books, Kathy, yes, they will be on my website. I'm probably looking at them being on there next Thursday, Friday. So that's all done and sorted, yes. All right. Oh, Viv, yeah, exactly. You don't need a sewing machine for any of this. It's all there. But, okay, that was your sneak peek. We digress. Here's your tile. Now, just so you know, on Tuesday, of course, I'll be out all day and not really going to get a chance to do a tile. So tile 321, I'm going to do at 2 o'clock on Wednesday. It just means because we've got the live tile swap on Monday, that can't do it then. So I'll do it Wednesday at 2. So tile 321 is going to be on Wednesday at 2 o'clock. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. Have a lovely weekend. And if I see you Tuesday, I do. If not, I will see you whenever. So take care, stay safe, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Okay.